Very good. Well, good evening, folks. I'm Alex Molesky. I'm the Vice National Commodore of the Auxiliary. I'm here tonight on behalf of Larry King, the National Commodore. Unfortunately, Larry had a family emergency, I guess you could call it. I believe it was his niece's son passed away, was ill, and he had to go to the funeral. So he was called away at the last minute, and he asked me to step in. Tonight we're having a meeting about the introduction. It's an introduction actually to the AuxScout program. This SOP, the Standard Operating Procedure, the document authorizing the existence of this program, was signed by the Chief Director, I believe it was on Friday. We've been waiting for this for a long time. We had the MOU with the Sea Scouts some time back. We had hoped to have this in place by NACON back in August. It wasn't quite ready yet. Active duty had to jump through a lot of hoops to get this signed off, and now it has been. So now we're ready to go. Leading up to this, I know we told people just not to do anything but to get their ducks in a row, to make contacts and have everything ready to go. Hopefully that's been done. I know it has been in some areas. I know the test program in District 5 and District 9 went very well. And I think what we have before us today is a tremendous opportunity for both organizations. You know, for years, we've been looking for ways to attract younger members. I can't think of a better way than this. And what we say is, for every Sea Scout that we get, every Sea Scout has at least a parent or two, if not a sibling or two. We faced a lot of challenges in the recent past with membership. We took a big hit between mandated training or core training. That's mandated, it's a dirty word, and the dues increase. We're coming back. Our numbers are growing again, but this could be tremendous. So I don't want to take up much time here. Anybody has any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask as the meeting goes on, but I'll turn it back to Bruce. Go ahead, Bruce.
Thank you very much, Commodore. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bruce Johnson, and I serve as the Division Chief of the National Youth Programs Division. This evening, we'll be talking about the Coast Guard Auxiliary Sea Scout Youth Development Initiative, which the Auxiliary calls AuxScout. This is one in a series of AuxScout workshops that will be offered in the coming weeks and months. The workshop schedule is available on our Facebook page and the Sea Scout Community of Interest on My CGAux. Before we go further, I'd like to tell you that all of the web links that you're going to see in this workshop will be available to you from a single link at the end of the presentation, so don't worry about copying down web addresses during the workshop. There are a couple of videos on the link page that will take you a couple of minutes to view, and we'd like to ask you to watch them on your own time. Finally, we're allowing time at the end of the workshop for questions. Since we're muting everybody's mic, please type your questions into the chat box and we'll answer them at the end. So over the next few minutes, we'll provide you with some background about Sea Scouting, the AuxScout initiative and how to implement it, and what resources are available to help you. Sea Scouting is the Boy Scouts of America's program open to older youth, ages 13 and have completed 8th grade through the age of 20, that is focused on nautical activities. It was founded in 1912 and is BSA's longest tenured older youth program. BSA's goal is to train youth in responsible citizenship, character development, and self-reliance through participation in a wide range of outdoor activities, educational programs, and at the older age levels, career-oriented programs in partnership with community organizations. Sea Scouting has been open to both young men and young women since 1972. Sea Scouting's goals are to promote these objectives through instruction and practice in recreational boating safety, boating skills, social and other events. It also promotes STEM education, leadership, community service, and life skills. These objectives, RBS, boating skills, and social events, should look very familiar to auxiliarists. Science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM education, is receiving major national attention. The term is typically used when addressing education policy and curriculum choices to improve science and technology development. It has implications for workforce development, national security concerns, and global competitiveness. Education systems and schools play a central role in determining boys and girls' interest in STEM subjects and in providing equal opportunities to access and benefit from quality STEM education, but other organizations have a role as well. STEM is a part of an initiative the Boy Scouts of America has taken to encourage the natural curiosity of youth members and their sense of wonder about these fields through existing programs. From sailing to welding, Scouts enjoy a wide range of STEM-related activities. Sea Scouting is a part of the Boy Scouts of America. As such, its aims and objectives are the same as all other BSA programs. What makes Sea Scouting unique is its focus on seamanship, boating safety, and leadership development while underway. Sea Scout units are called ships. They're anywhere that there are opportunities to have fun with water, whether on the coast, on rivers, or even in mountain lakes. While all Sea Scout ships share certain similarities, they are as different as the types of water that they boat on. Seamanship is the best part of Sea Scouting, with cruising and mastering the skills you learn with your shipmates. On board a vessel, you share hands-on experience as helmsman and navigator, lookout and cook, sail handler, and engineer. Scouting, the Sea Scouts, is a youth-led and adult-mentored organization. You and your shipmates lead your Sea Scout program. Elected youth leaders plan and conduct the program, and adult leaders guide and support the Scouts' efforts as they learn important leadership and life skills. Service. Sea Scouts take service very seriously. Sea Scouts perform various kinds of service, from service to their ship and to community service. They participate in service such as river and beach cleanup efforts, food drives, and youth programs. Sea Scouts also participate in flag ceremonies and serve as honor guards at various community events. And social. Sea Scouts provide opportunities to share experiences with other young people who share your interests. As the ship participates in fun and exciting activities like sailing regattas, rowing races, and rendezvous, the Sea Scouts learn and grow with their shipmates. And they have fun while meeting their responsibility to the community, to the nation, and to the world. Now let's spend a few minutes talking about the Auxiliary Sea Scout Youth Development Program, which the Auxiliary calls AuxScout. As recently as 2006, the Coast Guard had a junior ROTC program, but it only had 2 units, and that program is now long defunct. The Army, Air Force, Navy all have junior ROTC programs that are high school based, but the Coast Guard does not. There are programs like Sea Cadets, Young Marines, and Civil Air Patrols that are programs that admit youth as young as 10. The U.S. Naval Sea Cadets identify the Coast Guard as a partner. The Sea Cadets are funded by the Navy League. Organizationally, they're patterned after the Navy. The Civil Air Patrol is the official Air Force auxiliary and has both adult and youth cadet programs. Adults may fly SAR missions. Youth learn about aviation topics. The first Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA, was signed by the Boy Scouts of America and the Coast Guard Auxiliary in 2009. It established a framework for cooperation in a variety of areas of mutual interest. The Auxiliary and BSA share similar concerns and responsibilities for educating members in a wide variety of boating and nautical subjects and promoting citizenship training and character development. This agreement encouraged communication and cooperation between the agencies and sharing information and training. More recently, the Auxiliary and the Boy Scouts of America signed a new MOA in 2018 that extends and strengthens the ties between the Auxiliary and the Sea Scouts. As a part of the MOA, the Auxiliary has adopted the Sea Scouts as its youth program. The objective is to integrate Sea Scout youth and adults, as well as Sea Scout ships or units, into auxiliary shoreside and underway programs. Strengthening the ties between the two groups is mutually beneficial. A stronger relationship allows auxiliary flotillas and divisions to become Sea Scout ship chartered organizations, sometimes called sponsors. This also provides the Sea Scout youth with a broader pool of adult leaders with seamanship skills and training and access to vessels. In addition, auxiliary programs will facilitate advanced science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM-oriented training. The Sea Scouts are now automatically members of the Coast Guard Auxiliary Association. Additionally, although members of the general public must be at least 17 years old to join the auxiliary, Sea Scouts who are at least 14 years old may become full members of the auxiliary. They go through the same membership application process as all other new applicants. There are some limitations for Sea Scout auxiliarists who are under the age of 17. They may qualify as auxiliary boat crew, but they may not qualify as a coxswain, aircraft commander, or PWC operator because of legal limitations. Auxiliary flotillas and divisions may become chartering organizations or sponsors of Sea Scout ships. District supervision oversees initial development of auxiliary-sponsored Sea Scout units. So what are the benefits? For the auxiliary, Sea Scout participation provides the auxiliary with a clearly defined method for teaching younger boaters how to be safe at an age when they are most teachable. It provides potential manpower for carrying out the auxiliary's public affairs missions at boat shows, scout fairs, and boat ramps. Let's face it, teenagers would be much more interested in talking to other teenagers about boating topics than people who are much older than they are. It's also a pathway to auxiliary membership and can enhance the auxiliary's ability to reach out and recruit new constituencies in the recreational boating community. For the Coast Guard, our training young adults to be safe boaters means that America's waterways will be safer. Working with Sea Scouts develops public support for the Coast Guard and its missions. And this initiative is also an additional source of potential Coast Guard Academy candidates and enlistees in the Coast Guard. So what's involved in implementing AuxScout in your district? It's important to understand that the Coast Guard Auxiliary sought out this partnership with the Sea Scout program. The Auxiliary has been looking for a way to train younger boaters at a time when they're most teachable, which is to say, before they've had a lifetime of experience doing it wrong. The Auxiliary is very interested in identifying young adults who share our commitment to community service and service to the nation, and we want to cultivate that civic engagement. We also want to build positive relationships with like-minded young adults and their parents with the expectation that they will become close allies to the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard Auxiliary. What should we be doing now to get involved in the Auxiliary Sea Scout Youth Development Program, or AuxScout? And I think okay. There we go. Sorry, I accidentally hit the wrong button. First, it's important to understand that the auxiliary, what the auxiliary has committed to with the Scouts. The Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA, commits the auxiliary to providing certain types of support to the Sea Scouts. We are incorporating the Sea Scouts as our official youth program, and that means making training, leadership, and public affairs support for the Sea Scouts. The Standard Operating Procedures, or SOP, was outlined this past Friday, and it outlines how specifically we should work with the Sea Scouts. This document was developed by the Chief Director's Office with the involvement of auxiliaries who participated in the pilot rollout this past year. Everything has been tested and it works. Get to know these two documents very well so that you know what our commitments are and how the Coast Guard is expecting us to implement it. A very important requirement is that all auxiliaries working directly with the Sea Scouts must take BSA's Youth Protection Training, which is often referred to as YPT. This training explains our responsibilities in protecting the young adults we are working with. It also provides strategies that, when followed, will ensure that we have a productive and safe experience working with the Scouts. YPT is available online and takes less than an hour and a half to complete. You don't have to be registered with the Scouts to take this training, and your personal information will only be used to record your training completion. Once you've taken YPT training, save a copy of your completion certificate and have your flotilla commander send it in to DIROX so that it can be entered into your AUX data record. As is the case for all adults working with BSA youth, this training must be completed every 24 months. Incidentally, if YPT had to be boiled down to one rule, it would be that we should never have one-on-one interactions with BSA youth. Getting engaged with the Auxiliary Sea Scout Youth Development Program includes a number of social media resources and web resources that I'd like to bring to your attention. There's a Facebook group that's very active and involves both auxiliary and Sea Scout participation. It focuses on best practices for how Sea Scouts and auxiliary work together. Messages are screened before they're posted, so you'll only see messages that are on topic. If you are a Facebook person, I strongly urge you to subscribe to this group. A related group is in My CGAux, the Auxiliary Sea Scout Community of Interest. This is open to all auxiliaries and is a source of official communication from auxiliary national leadership. It's also a great place to ask questions of the auxiliary's youth program staff. Your district and division needs staff officers who can focus on supporting the AuxScout initiative. These individuals are responsible for knowing the auxiliary's AuxScout policies and best practices and working with local flotillas and divisions to implement them. The established working relationship with Sea Scout leaders and local Scout councils, I misread that. They establish working relationships with Sea Scout leaders and local Scout councils and ensure that auxiliarists are made aware of Sea Scout and auxiliary training opportunities. So just to be clear, there now are division and district AuxScout staff officer positions, a DSO-AS. We can have ADSOs as well as division staff officers for AuxScout. They are optional, but they really are helpful and vital in making this program move forward. It's important to identify the local Sea Scout leadership. Local councils don't always know who you should be talking to, but the Sea Scout Regional Commodore will. The Regional Commodore is the top Sea Scout volunteer leader in each of the 4 BSA regions. Note that these regions don't necessarily align with Coast Guard auxiliary districts, so you may need to touch bases with more than one Regional Commodore. Incidentally, 2 of the 4 Regional Commodores are also active Coast Guard auxiliarists. Finally, if your district or division has an AuxScout staff officer, work through them to find the local Sea Scout contact. Now let's have a look at what training is available from BSA and the auxiliary. Starting with BSA, the Scouts have a broad range of training available. A great place to start is to go to the Sea Scout Leader Training page on the Sea Scouts BSA website. Several courses are described and linked to there. Some of these courses are available online. In addition to YPT training, you should plan on taking Sea Scout Adult Leader basic training early on. There are many 15 to 60-minute workshops recorded on the Sea Scout YouTube channel. The workshops focus on practical best practice techniques on topics that will interest auxiliarists working with Sea Scouts. There are also many activity safety courses online. Depending on how you'll be working with the Scouts, you may want to take the Safety Afloat and the Safe Swim Defense training. Each is very straightforward and takes less than an hour to complete. The weekend Sea Badge Conference is held regionally and focuses on strategies for teaching and managing youth-led Sea Scout program. Some Sea Badge conferences will be held over the next couple of years that are specifically focused on auxiliary trainings. They're really fun and very informative. And as we find out about these courses, we're posting their information on the Facebook group. From the auxiliary, there are several workshops that have been developed that can be delivered live at district or sector training conferences. The National Youth Programs Division can provide trainers who will also be available to mentor local members. Online workshops on a variety of topics are being scheduled for 2019 and 2020. They'll be announced ahead of time over Facebook and MyCGAux, and you've probably noticed that there are 7 workshops scheduled for November and December. There will be more offered after the first of the year, and some of them will be on new topics after the first of the year. There are several AuxScout experts whom you can bring in to speak on a variety of topics. Plan ahead though, since there's a lot of interest in this initiative. Additionally, the youth program staff are available for coaching on special topics. Contact us and we'll match you up with the best person for your need. So let's look at a few ways that are easy to get involved and have been tested and work very well. All of these ideas have been used in a variety of places, and we are providing information that will help you to reproduce their success in your flotilla or division. There are hundreds of Sea Scout ships all over the country, and many would welcome the opportunity to work with you. This can be as informal as occasional visits to teach special topics like navigation or radio communications, or a more formal commitment to provide auxiliaries as adult leaders and trainers, and setting up underway training opportunities on Sea Scout and auxiliary vessels. Building a partnership with one or more local Sea Scout ships can involve holding joint vessel safety check events, public affairs booths, or informal picnics. The bigger your investment, the bigger the rewards will likely be. Remember to have fun doing this. There are lots of locations where auxiliary flotillas exist, but there are no Sea Scout ships. If your area fits that description, there's a process for setting up flotilla or division-sponsored Sea Scout ships. AuxScout Wiki and the Sea Scouts BSA website both have lots of information about how to do this. Contact your local Scout Council or regional Sea Scout Commodore to get help. Additionally, Bart Knapp of the Youth Programs Division is an expert in working through this process. Just ask for his help. The Coast Guard wants us to work with the Sea Scouts to promote the recreational boating safety message and our partnership with them. We can do this at boat shows, booths at boat supply stores and boat ramps, BSA Council Scout shows, and even Order of the Arrow conclaves. A great place to start is working with a local ship, the local Scout Council, or the area Sea Scout leadership. And the picture you're seeing here is with Rear Admiral Smith, the district commander of the 5th Coast Guard District, interacting with the Sea Scouts in his area, who happen to be the current national flagship of the Sea Scouts. One type of joint Sea Scout auxiliary activity that has been successfully held around the country for many years is called Safety at Sea. This event, usually hosted by Coast Guard active duty and auxiliary staff, provides the Sea Scouts with an opportunity to train on safety techniques and equipment that they usually don't have available to them. Skills include damage control trainers, firefighting, P6 pumps, man overboard drills, exposure suits, live flare training, radio communications, and marine environmental protection. Safety at sea events usually also involve Coast Guard and Coast Guard auxiliary recruiters. Everyone has a great time, and the Sea Scouts leave energized and enthused. Auxiliarists currently teach Sea Scouts in a broad range of seamanship topics. Among the opportunities is auxiliary boat crew training. Information about this is available on AuxScout Wiki. Additionally, the requirements for auxiliary boat crew have been compared to the Sea Scout advancement requirements, and where they are the same or similar, that information is available on AuxScout Wiki. This makes it easy for auxiliary boat crew instructors to teach the Coast Guard's way of operating watercraft while helping Sea Scouts meet their rank requirements. Another great activity is to hold a joint waterway cleanup. Here we're seeing a group of Sea Scouts cleaning up a local waterfront, and this dovetails into their marine environmental protection advancement requirements, and obviously that's a part of our mission. So the National Program Division staff is here to help you. This is a list of the volunteers. Looking forward to hearing from you. You can look up their contact information on Aux Directory. The three most important auxiliary AuxScout communications avenues are AuxScout Wiki, Facebook, and MyCGAux. AuxScout Wiki has a large amount of reliable official guidance on AuxScout best practices. This will ordinarily be the go-to place to find out what is okay to do and how to do it. The Facebook AuxScout group is a communication forum where auxiliarists and Sea Scout leaders can share news of upcoming events, training opportunities, and local successes. Links are also provided to useful program resources. The My CGAux Community of Interest Forum is restricted to auxiliarists working with Sea Scouts. This forum is led by Bruce Johnson, Youth Programs Division Chief. Any official news about program updates or policy decisions will appear here first. Now, if you're looking to copy something down, copy down this address, tinyurl.com/AuxScout links to. AuxScout is all caps, everything else is lowercase. Now this will take you to a link page that I'm going to take you to right now. If I can get to the right place. You'll see a page that looks like this. And what I'd suggest that you do is download the page and print it out, or just save the page, because all these links are live and they were all tested earlier today, so I know that they all work. So I'd like to show you a few of the web resources that we've talked about here. This is AuxB Wiki. It has a vast treasure trove of information about how to make this work. There's a general introduction. It gives you information about who to talk to on my staff, who can provide you detailed, reliable guidance on how to do things. And there's a link here to Bart Knapp, who's the expert on starting new ships. Here are links to the MOA, the Standard Operating Procedure, and an executive summary that was developed by the by BSX, the Office of the Chief Director of the Auxiliary. Here's a listing of upcoming workshops that have been scheduled. This schedule is available on Facebook. And then here are links to the 2 different groups that I mentioned. And then here are day 1 questions, which I think are probably going to be really interesting to a lot of people. Questions like, what should my district be doing to get started? What choices does my flotilla have for supporting Sea Scouts? What does my flotilla or division need to do to organize Sea Scout ships? And I'll just take you to one of those pages. The page is really pretty short on language. What it's mostly is a collection of links that will take you to additional information or take you right to where you need to go to get the detailed information on how to do things. There are also links to a variety of workshops. What we're going to be doing as we deliver them live over the internet is we're going to record them and then post them on the wiki so that people will be able to listen to them later at their leisure. Right at the moment, they only exist as PowerPoint presentations. But here is the listing of all of the workshops. All of these are available now. Some of them are training programs that were developed by the Boy Scouts of America, not specifically for the Coast Guard Auxiliary, but they all relate in some way to supporting the Sea Scout program. So this is the homepage of the Sea Scout program, seascout.org. And as you can see, the latest Sea Scout news, we are featured prominently on what we're doing with the Sea Scouts. There's lots of great information there. This is the Facebook group that I've been talking about, Sea Scouts, the Coast Guard Auxiliaries official youth program. And all of the posts have been organized into a number of broad topics. They include training, best practices, activities, and publicity. And so if you want to peruse the archives, that's a way to do it. You can see that there are currently 438 members, and that's growing very rapidly. This is the My CGAux community of interest for this topic, and as questions come in, I do my best to answer them, and this is also where we'll be posting any official notices about policy decisions. Okay, now I think everybody is going to find this resource really, really helpful. This is an online map that shows all of the Coast Guard Auxiliary flotillas and all of the Sea Scout ships, and it's as current as we can make it. We've already had a couple of reports from flotillas that they thought they weren't on the map, but in fact, in both cases, the reason why they couldn't find their flotilla was that their flotilla met at the same place as another flotilla, and the other flotilla's dot was overlaying their dot. I've just zoomed into my area. I live in Annapolis, Maryland, and you can see all of these circles are the local flotillas, and all of the stars are the Sea Scout ships. So, for example, the division to the south of me is looking at this area here, south of Annapolis, where there are no Sea Scout ships, and they're working on organizing one, I think, in the Deal, Maryland area. There are a lot of opportunities for doing that, and by doing that, it broadens your reach into a community that we need to get involved with. Now, this is what we're talking about with youth protection training. This has an information about the training, and there's a link that will take you to the login page. As I mentioned earlier, you do not have to be a BSA registered person to take this training, and BSA has committed in writing that they will not be using your information in any way other than to record your completion of this training. All of the other training that we've talked about that's online from BSA is accessible from the same place. There's no cost for taking this training, and it's all available to you. On AuxB Wiki, this is a page explaining what's involved in chartering a Sea Scout ship. There's a workshop that Bart will be putting on a little later this month. But if your flotilla is interested in working on this right now and would like some help, just reach out to Bart and he'll be happy to help you. And then I think I've already shown you these two pages. So let me go back to the PowerPoint because I had one more slide that I wanted to show you. Before we get to questions, I'd like to make one point. The Auxiliary has adopted the Sea Scouts as our official youth program. The Sea Scouts are anxious to work with us, and we have a lot to gain from working with them. The important thing to remember is that for us to gain anything from working with the Sea Scouts, we'll have to invest of our time, our energy, and our enthusiasm. If we don't make that investment, we will gain nothing. So think about what your flotilla or your division can do to support Sea Scouts in your area. It's the best investment that you can possibly make in the future of your flotilla and your communities. And I, of course, will be very happy to take questions now. So let's see. There are no questions in the chat box yet. For those of you who may not have discovered it, I think you probably have that. Let's see. Someone has asked if they can be made the presenter, but I don't know who they are. So I'm a little reluctant to oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's see, just a moment. Tom, you want to be made the presenter. Okay. And I'm trying to unmute. Okay, Tom, you have not entered your audio pin to be able to speak. So your audio pin was pound 880 pound. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm taking back the helm on this. Okay. Let's see. I have a note from somebody saying that they came in late and they, let's see, they came in at slide 22. We've recorded this session and I'm hoping to be able to post that sometime in the next day or two. This workshop will be offered again next week and several more times, so you should be able to see it down the road. I have a question from somebody asking the location of the ship in the Annapolis area. I don't have that in my head. It is on the map, and I don't have the sponsor. I can tell you that that ship is partnered with a flotilla in Division 24 in Davidsonville, and both the flotilla and the ship can't say enough about how this is a great experience for them. I have a question about where the current workshop schedule is. It's available both on AuxScout Wiki on the main page, as well as on the Facebook group. Let's see. Somebody is asking to be the presenter. Really, Forrest, let me see if I can unmute you. Forrest, if you want to ask a question. Forrest McClendon.
Yeah, I just had a question. Is there like a Sea Scout in Los Angeles?
Yes, there are Sea Scouts in Los Angeles. Again, you ought to have a look at the map and see what ships are close to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. Let's see what the next question is. Okay. Somebody is saying that an awful lot of these workshops are on Monday nights, which conflicts with other meeting commitments they have. Some of the workshops are on Sunday nights. The availability of this forum is a first come, first serve situation. So what I've been looking for are dates that aren't already committed with other workshops being put on or other meetings being put on. So I take your point. About half the workshops are on Mondays and about half of them are on Sundays. But after the first of the year, we'll look to have some other days of the week, and the schedule may be a little bit more open then, and we'll have more choices for when we can schedule this. Okay, are there any other questions at this point? That's all I'm seeing on the chat box so far. Commodore Molesky, would you like to say any, do you have any thoughts at the end before we sign off?
Nothing in particular. I think it was a great presentation. Thank you very much, Bruce. We're certainly very fortunate to have you heading up this program, so thank you for everything. As I said in the beginning, this is a tremendous opportunity for us, and now it's up to us to seize this opportunity and make it work. That's it for me. Absent any questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Are there any last-minute questions? Okay. Hearing none, I want to thank you all for taking an hour out of your time to attend this, and I look forward to working with you in the coming weeks and months. I think we have a great opportunity here, and I will see you out there on the water. Good night.